Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mazlyn Grimaldi. I am a senior at Oglethorpe, and my accounting is major. My major is accounting. And my internship that I got in December was U.S. Customs and Borders Protection, and I received this during the pandemic. So a little bit about the background is that on March 1st of 2003, U.S. Customs and Borders Protection became the nation's first comprehensive border security agency with a focus on maintaining the integrity of the nation's boundaries and ports of entry. So you can see. The mission statement is to protect the American people, safeguard our borders, and enhance the nation's economic prosperity. Within the company, there are several different organizations within CBP. And in the next slide, I will be able to discuss those a little bit further. The first one is Air and Marine Operations, Office of Field Operations, United States Border Patrol, Trade, Enterprise Services, Operations Support, Intelligence, Public Affairs, and Trade Relations. There's a lot of them. I specifically work within the Office of Trade and the Regulatory Audit and Agency Advisory Services. That is within the Audit Performance and Excellence Division. Within this organization, we create policies and rules for the field auditors when they are actually going out to conduct an audit. So a lot of writing. So my day-to-day tasks include going over audit documentation in the form of memorandums, spreadsheets, pivot tables, charts, and we do this to provide sufficient and appropriate evidence to support the audit findings. As you can see, memorandums and the pivot table. Another day-to-day task includes performing a variety of assigned projects and auditing importers and other trade-related entities through the practical application of generally accepted government accounting standards and RAS. And RAS stands for Regulatory Audit and Agency Advisory Services. Also, another day-to-day task is familiarizing myself with governmental procedures because they are very different from public and private. And GAGAS, which you can see on the side here on the right, it's Government Auditing Standards, and that's like your rule book. It taught me a lot about how private and public sector was so very different from government. It was also very challenging for me because anything that has official use on it, you cannot share with anyone. So you cannot tell who you've audited, you cannot share any of that information, which was very complicated in the beginning. This internship helped me become more confident in a business environment. So within meetings and within talking in front of people, it helped me on completing tasks, which were a lot of writing, and I was able to have time management, so to complete my classes and to be able to allocate the appropriate time to my projects. I learned a lot from my courses that I applied all the way from financial accounting to advanced accounting that I'm in now. And I did not realize the importance of Excel, and you really get the effect of that whenever you're on the job. I learned that pivot tables were very valuable, so thank you, Dr. Pampush. I actually kept a few of my notes, and those helped me on numerous projects when I was about to pull my hair out. So pivot tables are very important, and Excel is even more important. So searching for an internship through the pandemic was actually very hard because your interviews were via Zoom, but I went through Handshake, and I found this job actually through usajobs.gov. And after a lot of interviews, I figured out that this position would be the best fit for me. The reason that I chose this position because in my interviews, the one thing that stuck out to me the most was the opportunity for teamwork. So whenever we conduct an audit, it's everybody working as a team rather than individuals. And that was very important for me. I didn't realize that until you to do that. So I did learn that I work with positive feedback. So not criticism feedback, but positive feedback. And you're able to truly grow not only in your work, but as an individual yourself, because you're able to learn where you can improve and do better. Weigh all your options. So that was a big one. It's never too early to start applying for internships. It creeps up on you before you know it. Have fun and enjoy your experience. Take all your knowledge and have fun while doing it, because it's going to be a short skim of your life. So one of my most important things was meeting with Professor Birchfield and discussing just what fit was good for me. So I would highly recommend that if you're looking for an internship, meet with your advisor. They're very well, and they're there to help you and guide you through your decision making and process. So takeaways from my internship: I learned that teamwork truly does make the dream work at the end of the day, and love what you do. So when you start loving what you do, your job becomes way easier. Enjoy it and always learn. Every day is a new opportunity for a learning experience, so always learn. And one thing that I was petrified to do whenever I started my internship was ask questions, but I learned that it was one of the most valuable things that you can ever do. So never be afraid to ask questions. It's always a good thing to learn every day, and never be afraid. And on that note, does anybody have any questions?
Thank you so much, Mazlyn. Does anyone have any questions?
Mazlyn, I have a question for you. It sounds like a fascinating opportunity. When I think about Customs Border Patrol, I travel a lot abroad. So coming back, from a trip is my only experience with this organization. So how eye-opening was it for you that there are so many, different avenues of this organization this agency that most people would probably never know about?
Yes, so it was actually very crazy for me, because when you go to apply for a job, there's like all of those that I just listed, and there's like a ton of positions in all of them. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I did not know that that was the thing. So you really do only think about the borders, like, oh, the people that are trying to get stuff in that they're not supposed to be getting in. So it was actually very crazy for me. And sometimes I still have to pull out my map that they gave me on day one and go, okay, that's within that one. And that was within that one. So yes, it's very interesting. I will say very interesting.
Thanks for sharing, Mazlyn.